Hey there survivors, how's it going? Welcome to Ark Survival Evolved. I'm going to share the 10 most important tips to keep your base hidden that I've picked up after nearly 4,000 hours of playing the game as mainly a solo player. Most of that time was on legacy servers before full release, and somehow I managed to survive and protect my base for over a year before legacy got wiped. So let's get into the video. Right, this is just a little base that I've put up quickly to demonstrate some of the things I'm going to show you. It's not in a very hidden location at all really. It's in a rock crevice, but it'll do. One of the most important things is to try and build out of the line of sight. So people just flying around the server and looking for bases to raid aren't just going to see your base. Try and build it in some rock crevices, in a cave, in a rat hole, behind some terrain, just anywhere that people can't see you easily. I still see lots of people on PvP servers building behind harvestable rocks, kinda like this. Now when you're up close to this area you may think, oh yeah, people won't really see this from many angles, but harvestable rocks and bushes load in with your view distance. So if I just show you, and the rock's disappearing, and it's gone. And this is with my view distance on medium at the moment. Most people in PvP have them on medium or low. If I just show you how close you have to get to actually see it on low. And there we go, rocks disappeared again already. And there we go, you've got to get really close for it to render in on low. So yeah, don't build behind harvestable rocks and bushes. You can kind of build within the trees, as long as you make sure that it's in an area where there's no big dinos that are going to roam around and knock down the trees, because obviously the ones near your base will just stay despawned then. But yeah, as you can see on epic view distance, it's a bit more hidden, but no one plays with it on epic on PvP. And you're not really trying to hide your base from other people on PvE. Unless you're really hidden away, like in a cave or a rat hole, you'll want to turn off your fires in the night time, like your forges and your fires, etc. And depending on how easily visible they are, you might even want to turn off your generator because of your electric outlet sparks. And careful to not place your fridge through the wall as well, because they have lights on the back of them that you can see. It just really catches your eye when you see another player's fire in the night time, so you want to avoid that. This is just to show you how visible the forges are through the trees still. And when you're flying past this place in the night time, if you're just flying past, you probably wouldn't notice that base if the forges weren't on at all. $4 AM is still a bit early to use your forges. It's just about there at 6 o'clock. So yeah, I'd say about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning is about safe time to start using your forges and fires again. 7 o'clock is definitely safe and light again. It's nice when you can actually keep an eye on the outside of your base, especially when metals smelting and fires are on and stuff that's going to draw attention to your base. And especially as a solo player when you don't have any dinos to alert you or turrets or anything. So you just build a bed on the top floor, lie on it, and you get a camera view outside. So use this in your downtime when you're waiting for metal to smelt or things to craft, etc. And you'll be a lot more wise if someone spots you or even is trying to come and raid you. Especially when you haven't got many tames, you'll want to cryopod them and store them away. One of the reasons is so people can't snipe your tames when you're offline, but the main reason is so people can't detect your dinos with a Parasaur when they're hunting. And you should also kill yourself before logging off for the same reason. So many times I've seen little bases only be found because someone's used a Parasaur to detect them. So just in case you're unfamiliar with how the Parasaur detection works, he basically makes that sound and then a little red marker shows up where the enemy has been detected. Normally it'll say, Parasaur has detected an enemy at the top of the screen, but I've got my HUD off at the moment. So he'll just keep on pinging it every few seconds, and it'll continuously say Parasaur has detected an enemy at the top of the screen as well. So in here is just a character that I just logged in on my friend's account on my other computer. Now I'm pretty sure on official the Parasaur does detect players who are offline and just sleeping, but on the non-dedicated servers you don't. So I'm not sure, it might just be a server setting, but I'll demonstrate it now. So just logging off with my other character. And there we go, now he's sleeping. And Parasaur detected him again. How long does it take? And there we go, no longer detected. So yeah, it takes about 5 or 10 seconds, I guess. But when you're logged off, the Parasaur can't detect you anymore. So yeah, it might just be because it's non-dedicated, it might be an unofficial server setting as well. But yeah, just to show you that he's on the turret mode. And I may as well do the other way. I'll log back in and see how quickly he detects. Nearly finished loading back in. And here we go. Right, so yeah, just a couple of seconds and he'll detect you as soon as you log in, basically. So that's good to know as well. But you gotta watch yourself, because sometimes yourself can be your worst enemy. There is many circumstances that you can actually get on with tribes who are living close to you, but in a lot of cases when you want to just keep to yourself, if you find anybody close to you and they're just starting to build up especially, you're probably best to just wipe them. Get an Arthropleura if you don't have C4, they're a nice easy tame. But again, there's been so many times I've seen in the past where tribes have been friendly with each other and then just one person goes rogue, has a bit of a beef with someone from the tribe, and then they both end up at war with each other. And then you just think, what's the bloody point in making friends in the first place sometimes? So yeah, simple solution, get rid of them before they can become a problem. There's obviously many times that you're going to be going back to your base, whether it be after taming, farming, fighting or whatever. So one of the most important things to do if you want to keep your base hidden is to not let anybody see you go into it. So when you go back, just have a little scout around, just fly past your base I would first. Have a look in orbit cam as well, see if you can spot anybody, and when you make sure the coast's clear, then go into your base and cryo your dino as quickly as you can. Unless you need to go back out on it, of course. But then the same with when you leave your base, have a quick little look around every time you leave your base as well. Especially in the early days when you don't have a lot, it's a good idea to upload your best tames, weapons, armour, etc., anything that you feel is valuable to the obelisk or a drop. It'll last for 24 hours, so you'll need to download it within that time. And you can even upload your player with all your items and armour on him as well. And the trick to doing that is you just need to transfer server, but then when you get to the server, don't spawn. Just click on the map, exit the game from there, and then you can download your character to any of the official servers on that cluster then, even including the one you just came from. Carefully consider if your base actually needs turrets or not. If you're in a rat hole or in a cave, then yes, of course it makes sense to have turrets pointing towards the entrance for anybody who does happen to find your base. But if you've only got a little hidden away base in some terrain somewhere, then you don't want any turrets on your base, at least in the early days, just because all it'll do is shoot somebody, give your location away, and they'll probably come back and raid you. Whereas if you didn't have a turret, they wouldn't even be shot at and they wouldn't even know your base is there. Painting your base can actually help hide it in the terrain quite well. The slate and the forest and the mud colourings seem the best, but have an experiment around as it heavily depends on your base location and what terrain is around it. If you make your build in a bit of an unusual shape as well, not just a square box, it'll probably make it blend into the terrain even easier. But one of the main things the paint gets rid of is the reflection from metal. You can obviously use a paint spray gun to make the job faster, but we're talking early games, so unless you get access to a paint spray gun, you're probably going to be stuck with a brush. So obviously this paint job was too dark for the terrain, but it blends in so much better. Back in the day when playing on Legacy, I can remember on my main server there was a guy who we knew had a hidden base somewhere and was raiding our server, and we eventually found it, and it was just in the trees, but it was so well camouflaged, and he was using refertilizer to bring the trees back, and it was really effective. And that was on the island as well, which is one of the hardest places to find a hidden base location, especially on the surface, and he was just based around the base of the volcano. Alright survivors, well that's my top 10 tips to help keep your base hidden. I hope this helps you on your quest for survival. If you learned something new, please drop a like on the video and a sub to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now. Peace.